Several quarters for the problems with Aadhaar, the UIDAI has added one more layer of authentication to the unique identity system. In less than a week's time after the introduction of virtual ID, UIDAI has now unveiled facial recognition protocols. The new feature is mainly for people facing difficulty with other biometric authentication methods like fingerprint and iris. However, it will be allowed only in fusion mode. That means facial authentication can be used along with either iris scan, fingerprint scan or one-time password. The UIDAI will provide services like the software development kits or registered device in different operating systems. The details for the implementation of face authentication will be released by the 1st of March this year, and the UIDAI hopes to roll this out from the 1st of July 2018. To discuss this further, we're now joined by Pavan Duggal, cyber law expert, Sanjay Swami, managing partner at Prime Venture Partners. We also have with us Nitin Bhatnagar, vice president and cybersecurity leader at SISA Information. Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us. Pavan Duggal, let me start by asking you, what do you make of this latest addition now? Just last week they announced virtual ID. The UIDAI CEO called it Aadhaar 2.0. Now with the facial recognition protocols being introduced, do you believe that this makes the system more robust, or do you believe that this adds to the complexity of a system which continues to be at this point in time facing certain vulnerabilities?
First and foremost, I think these kinds of initiatives are nothing but a step in the direction of trying to make Aadhaar more secure, more safe, more reliable. So to that extent, the intention is noble and needs to be lauded. However, the practical working of such kind of complicated nuances being introduced within a very short period of time is likely to run into not just inconvenience for people, but could also create legal challenges. For example, in the 1 week before, when we talked of the virtual identity concept is not yet even supported by the Aadhaar Act 2016. On top of it, when we are now planning to introduce facial recognition, so the UIDAI is right in the direction that it's going to be supplemental in nature. But the very fact that you're going to add yet another of this kind of a technical parameter without having the adequate support under the Aadhaar Act, the chances are that this kind of an ecosystem step may also be potentially challenged in the ongoing litigations. So it's a wait-and-watch approach, but by and large, I think its security and reliability is of critical importance.
Absolutely. So you're saying this also runs contra to the virtual ID idea that the UIDAI has introduced. You believe that that is contra to the Aadhaar Act. But Sanjay Swami, let me come to you now, because the UIDAI is basically saying that face authentication will provide additional choice to create a much more inclusive authentication process. They also say that since the photo is already available in the UIDAI database, there is no need to capture any new reference data at the UIDAI. What do you see as the practical challenges, as the practical issues? Because largely this continues to be an untested technology, is it not?
Yeah, hi, Shereen. So first of all, this is face authentication. It is not face recognition. I think it's...
Okay. Well, just on that crucial moment, we lost that line. Let me take that across to Nitin. Nitin, maybe, if you heard my question, you want to chip in there while we get Sanjay back on.
Yeah, hi, Shereen. So basically what Sanjay was trying to say is that the face recognition, so you have to understand basically the authentication. There are different ways of authentication, that something something you have, and something you are, right? So basically something is a password, something you have is like a card, or something you are is like, fingerprint or iris scan or any kind of a biometric, mode that you would require to do an authentication on. So more importantly, see, when Aadhaar, the UIDAI brings in the virtual ID concept with the tokenization, so this is a well-renewed solution, across the world, which has been used by the security professionals. And I would, according to me, based on my experience past 10 years, I have seen tokenization getting implemented to protect the payment card industry at a larger level. And we have seen a reduction in the frauds, definitely, with the tokenization getting implemented. And when it comes to the biometric authentication, I believe what UIDAI says is that it's just one mode. You can use it if the iris or your fingerprints are not working. So this the entire process will make it more robust, and it would be safe and secure for anyone to use the Aadhaar. in terms of doing financial transactions or whatever you can think of. Now, the important thing here is...
okay, so you...
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I mean to say is that here, see, what UIDAI needs to do is that in order to make it more comfortable for the users, they should go through a rigorous security audit, which makes sure the technologies, the solutions that they're implementing are really robust and they are able to implement it properly so that no one from the outside or the internal, is able to penetrate into the systems and exploit those vulnerabilities or loopholes.
Right. Okay. So you say it's a step in the right direction, but they must do rigorous security audits to neutralize any vulnerabilities. But let me go back across now to Sanjay Swami. We lost you, Sanjay. You were trying to explain to us how authentication and recognition are two different things.
Yeah. Hi, Shereen. Sorry about that. Don't know where we got disconnected. Yeah. Authentication is merely a case of taking a photograph and comparing it with something that was previously taken, right? So this is not a case of taking a photograph and comparing it against 1.2 billion photographs and magically producing my Aadhaar. It's a case of taking my Aadhaar with a fingerprint or an iris and augmenting that with a photograph so that you have a higher degree of confidence in case my fingerprints don't give you don't give a strong match, right? So where we have heard situations where people were unable to avail certain benefits because their fingerprints were worn out or didn't match properly. In those situations, one can also use the photograph so that the Aadhaar system can have a higher degree of confidence, right? So this is absolutely about authentication and not about recognition. I do certainly feel this is an important step forward, and it will make the system far more robust and far more acceptable to the masses.
Okay, but very quickly, let me ask you what you see as being the practical challenges that will need to be addressed as we roll this out?
Yeah, I think the practical challenge will be around education and communication as we roll this out. In most cases, Aadhaar is being used for authentication in conjunction with a smartphone. So a smartphone already has a camera and does not require any additional hardware. So therefore, it should be quite easy to roll out technologically, and it's merely a case of communicating and educating people.
All right, Sanjay Swami, Pawan Dugal, and Nitin, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18 to explain to us what is the latest significance of the face authentication protocol that the UIDAI has introduced from the 1st of July. It's announced it today. It'll be introduced from the 1st of July on a need basis.